I've got this little cast aluminium bracket. It's come off a motorbike and it's snapped. Now, it's not unusual for cast aluminium to break like this, but I'm just going to show how I am going to put this back together, considering when it is together, it's not flat, it's not straight, and there's no easy way of just clamping this to the bench to weld it. So what I'm going to do is clean up the edges a little bit, but I'm going to leave as much of the snapped section as possible because that keys it in the position that it needs to go. So when I've got to clean up an aluminium part that's got paint and corrosion on it, I'll use these red scotchbrite wheels because they will take off all the stuff that I don't want when I'm going to be welding, and it gives you a nice clean surface. It won't take off any of the aluminium unless you really start pushing into it. So it's perfect for this job. Alright, that looks pretty good just there. So I'll put a tack weld on. Nope. Now you can see it's got this groove down the middle where the weld is bubbled around. We've got to cut that out so then I can get all the way down to the base of that and put a fat weld through the top. Because if you just weld over the top and melt the top together, that will be a crack inside the piece and it'll just snap again later on. So I'm going to use this cut-off wheel. Now this is a brand new cut-off wheel that hasn't been used on steel. If you use one that has already been used on steel, it can impregnate stuff in there. But being that it's cast aluminium, that's probably already got stuff in it. Now that it's got a nice V in it, and a fat weld on the back still, I'll just run a bead of weld across there. I've also got to build up this edge a little bit, and I'll be ready to sand it down for final finish. That's all looking pretty good. Now the next stage is to clean up the outside, take this whole weld off and make it just flush with the rest of the surfaces, make it look neat. I'm going to use a flap disc. Now the trick with aluminium, bit of candle wax. Basically just touch it on the disc like that and it will help to clear the aluminium out of the sandpaper and it'll last a lot longer. You'll be sanding away, the disc will clog up, you just touch the wax on it again and it'll throw all the aluminium out of the disc. Again, never use a disc for sanding aluminium that's been used on steel because it will embed bits of steel into the aluminium and then your aluminium will rust. Now, I'm going to be going along the weld this way to take the top off it, because if you grind across a weld this way you'll end up taking a piece out of here and here before you get that down to the right height. So Now that it's been sanded down, I can see a little bit just here that's got porosity in it. So I'm just going to heat up this area again, wait till all the stuff burns to the top, and once it's all a big molten pool, I'll put a dab of filler wire in and it should fill that up just nicely. Then I'll just sand this a little bit and that part will be finished. Now I'm not going to take any of this weld out of here because that's the strength in this part now. Having that big fat weld will stop it from cracking again in that particular spot. It may break anywhere else because it's just a piece of cast, but you get that. There we have it, one repaired part. Now this will probably just get sanded back and repainted silver, just so it looks all nice, and then bolted back onto the bike. So anyway, that part took about 10 minutes to weld up, clean up, and the customer was very happy with it and he gave me 6 lemon squashes. So anyway, good thing to do on a Friday. So now that's over with, me and Shed Corgi, we're out of here. So as always, customise everything. Come on, Shed Corgi. Draw me like one of your Welsh girls.